Hello and thank you for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. Before we start the show tonight, we wanted to give everybody a word of warning that each episode produced by Movie Guys Podcast is for a mature audience. You have been warned. Also, all of our reviews are spoiler filled. So if you have not seen the film that we're going to talk about tonight, turn off the show and come back when you're ready to listen. Thank you so much for downloading, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Valor Morgulis, everybody, and welcome to another, the last Game of Thrones episode. The last Game of Thrones episode of Movie Guys Podcast. I am Ed of, I'm Ed. This is Eric. Wow.
Part of the Six Kingdoms. Now, you can't say that this is going to be the last Game of Thrones episode, though, because, again, there are confirmed spin-offs happening, and so we're gonna keep the memory alive, as it were. But, this was kind of just a wrap-up episode, really, wasn't it, right? Like, it was just... Let's just get everyone together, make a happy little ending story here, and end it. So it you know what I mean? Like, there's still a lot that they could go on. There's still a lot of in the world. I think this will really help with books, because people are going to look to the books after this, and they're going to want more detail. You know.
Well, and George R. R. Martin has already said, he goes, well, I might have given them the ending, but my books are going to be different. So, yes, that will 100% help with the sale of the books. And we've got a couple of prequels that have been confirmed.
Just get into it, man. You sound like you're kind of let down by this episode already.
No. So the truth be told is, first of all, I want to say, everybody who's listening, spoilers, if you haven't watched the episode yet, please hit pause.
I put this as a reaction video, so this is quite obvious.
It is. I mean, we're assuming that everybody has, but if you haven't, definitely go back. So I'm just gonna do this. Everybody, go back to the last episode after you watch this. Our last episode. This guy fucking nailed it.
So you're doing, you're calling it. You're doing
this fucking guy nailed it.
Bet. I mean, the Vegas odds on Bran winning the throne, I guess if you can call it that, he's pretty much has a throne on wheels now. But I think the odds were pretty high for him to win. I think at the beginning of the season, it was big between the big four of Cersei, Dany, and Jon Bran. Those were the ones with the highest odds, and like lowest odds were like Theon and I don't know, something else. Littlefinger was still on the board for some reason.
Right.
But this is what we got. I mean, it's pretty good. I think it would seem to be a pretty good decision here. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. You know, I mean, you had a lot of reconciliations, a lot of obviously between like Jon and Ghost. We all wanted to see that because everyone had questions about him.
Because Jon was a terrible dog dad for about a month.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, there's still a lot because obviously the Drogon is still out and about, and he's just. Mm-hmm. I mean, this still could go like after the Thrones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how money hungry are you? You know?
Oh well, I mean, if we've seen anything, we know that money is going to completely just overtake this whole thing. So let's talk about the episode first, and then we'll get into some other things. So I don't want to move too quickly, but I want to at least run through the episode.
Sure.
So we open up with let's just jump right to Tyrion finding his brother and sister, and he realizes, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like, they didn't make it out. This is the whole reason this is the whole reason I sacrificed my life. And what about my speech last week? So we see Tyrion finding his brother and sister. And then we get right to Jon trying to stop Grey Worm from murdering half a dozen Lannister soldiers.
We're seeing a different Grey Worm right now too. This is a guy who's angry. He's upset. He's on the Queen's side, and he, is using it for some vengeance here, man. Like hard. Which is, again, a good turn of the character. It's good for that character's arc. He's been through a lot, obviously.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, there aren't very many characters, excuse me, who have been through more than Grey Worm has. Varys was one of them. Varys had been through the exact same thing, except wasn't a slave, or didn't turn into a soldier, was a slave.
Yeah.
Tyrion's been through a lot of shit. And yeah, I mean, Grey Worm is one of the ones who's been through probably the most. So we get to Dany coming up to the steps, and Jon sort of moves up, and he walks up the steps, and he sort of takes his place behind Dany. And she gives the speech that Khal Drogo promised. She's telling the Unsullied and the Dothraki. She's talking to them all directly and saying, this is what Khal promised me, and thank you all for doing it for me.
Yeah. Grats on the Dothraki being resurrected and finding all horses again. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So at that moment, she names Grey Worm the Master of War. And we see a very much First Order style Dany, and she literally says that she wants to take over the world. Yeah.
This is this is the peak right now, right?
Yes. We are at our strongest. She's at her strongest. She realizes it, and Tyrion talks about it later. But and then Tyrion walks up to her, and he literally throws away the pin of the hand of the queen pin.
Yeah, this is a big moment because it opens with him walking and knowing exactly what's going to happen next. Like that's how the show starts. I mean, in anyone's situation like that, who can, how can you stand by that queen? Like a big, powerful moment where he finds obviously Cersei and Jaime too. That was emotional. Well acted, Peter Dinklage. Good for you.
Tyrion surprised me throughout this episode. Obviously, Peter Dinklage is a great actor. We've seen him in several things, especially the last Thor movie. Or was it an Avengers movie? I don't remember. But he's a giant dwarf in that movie. He does a great job. It was Avengers Endgame, or not Endgame. I'm sorry. It was Infinity War. I'm sorry. But he does a great job in that. And there's another movie he's in. It's kind of funny. He plays an executive. Anyway, Peter Dinklage is great. Kudos to him. I hope that all these actors, unlike a lot of people who have done great shows like this, I hope they continue to find success in their careers.
It's gonna be hard to overcome the typecast.
Yeah, really. Most of these actors have a hard time finding decent work. Look at, for example, Mark Hamill. He had to become the Joker 30 years later, and then Disney had to buy for Mark Hamill to actually get real acting work. Anyway, so we get to Jon sort of coming up after Tyrion throws away his pin, and Dany gives Jon like that look, that like, this is your fault look. Don't blame me. This is your fault.
She killing with that acting too. In the Clark, she's everyone again. Everyone does a great job because it really adds to a lot of. But yes, there's that high tension moment where you know it without anyone saying anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So let's jump a little bit ahead, not a whole lot, but jump to the conversation in the makeshift dungeon between Tyrion and Jon. Tyrion confesses literally everything he's done throughout the whole series, and Jon defends Dany. And then Tyrion convinces Jon to, quote, do the right thing. Maybe I misremember this, but I seem to remember Tyrion visiting Ned in prison, and this is sort of a reversal kind of thing, isn't it? Or does he not?
I mean, we need to go back and probably watch it, but yes, he does visit him, and this is kind of like this moment where it wasn't about like doing the right thing, at least in that part, but it was just kind of the understanding of how the game works type of thing. And I think that's the same way with this, is that like this is Tyrion's having this moment with Jon. We're like, hey, listen, this is how the game works. This is the wheel. This is how it goes. This is how it turns. This is how it rotates. You have a chance right now to just break this thing off. You really do. But if Tyrion's giving him the warning, like from what I see, and I've seen a lot of it, a lot more than you have, if she continues, Dany continues, we're just going to get more of the same. We're going to get another Cersei. We're going to get another Mad King. It's just going to keep on repeating. So this is a big moment that Jon has to make because he's not really wanting to make these decisions. He keeps on forcing, he keeps on being forced into these situations where he has to make these protective decisions, a protector of the realm. He's like greater than the king. You know what I mean? He is the shield of the realm, the shield of man, as Tyrion said. You have a choice right now, and you can do it. So it's a tough weight to put on somebody, and I mean that's the purpose of Jon, right? He was exactly where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's literally exactly what's said later. So kudos. So we get the very next scene is when Jon walks up to the Red Keep, and the dragon lets Jon pass because obviously Jon's a Targaryen, and the dragon knows him, and he knows him to be a friend of his mother. And we sort of see Dany's vision from the House of the Undying from several years ago sort of come true at this exact moment. Like it's almost, I don't want to call it a shot-for-shot remake, but it's like a real.
I would not.
It's no, but it's pretty damn close. I mean, it's almost like you ever have a dream that kind of sort of comes true, or like deja vu.
Yeah.
They're same. We are same, but different.
Well, she has this moment where this is the reward. This is where she everything led up to that moment, and she touches the throne, and like that's crazy how much value she puts in people, how much value they put into this throne, into this object. So it's only fitting what happens next, then, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we get our first, I don't want to call it a twist because, I mean, okay, so let's just call it a twist. Jon confronts Dany, and Dany says, we can't be held back by small mercies when Jon's asking Dany. He's trying to pull it from her. He's trying to see if she's good because Tyrion has said to her, or said that Jon in the last scene, listen, you've got to do what you got to do. If you don't want it, that's too bad. But you have to go do this. And Jon stabs Dany. He right then and there. He stabs her right then and there.
With a Raphael sigh. Yep.
Yeah.
This was I think a great moment because you have a lot of contrast. Here you have a fire and ice right there too, and even just before in the prison, something was said that I think represented that too, where they said that sometimes love over duty, or love destroys duty, and then they said no, sometimes duty can destroy love, or that's what we saw from Dany and Jon. We had someone that was love, Dany, and then the other one that was duty, Jon. And I just wanted to say duty like that, like they do.
You did a good job with that.
That's what it was. You had like this moment where both of them in each other's embrace are just saying, here's the choice, love or duty. Which one? It was good the way they kind of foreshadowed or just highlighted that contrast. At least that's what I got to see out of that. So a lot of symbolizing moments. But we know what happens when when you love in Game of Thrones. Yes, Jon Stark, or not Jon, Robb Stark.
Yes, yes. You get murdered by a smoke monster that came out of the red priestess's vagina.
Yeah, that could be. That's another goal.
Yeah. So the dragon goes absolutely nuts. He flies up to the throne room, sees what happens, knows what happens, melts the Iron Throne, picks up Dany's body, and flies away.
And bye. That's exit Drogon.
Yes, that's the most fitting moment, I think. The first of many in this episode, but it's an incredibly fitting thing for an ending for somebody like Dany and the Dragons.
I actually am not upset by this decision because I'm sure that when you obviously you kill the dragon mother there. I mean, you think that the dragons would go apeshit, and instead you just have this dragon picking up Danny's body and just leaving. He's like, well, I don't, what is all this to me? So I kind of enjoyed it. It's we have a lot of open endings for a lot of these
Sure.
characters, and that's
They did
fine
them.
because how it's really hard to close off all these endings here. A lot of them are questionable than the others, but again, this one just seemed in its poetic entirety, it just seemed fitting. It's I'm not upset. I'm not upset by it. If it was something else, I may have been upset by it. Where it just like Drogon gets, if they killed him off, I think that would be a little bit more upsetting.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
So I'm glad that Drogon's alive. There's still a dragon in the world, but there's only one Targaryen blood, right? And he went north, so.
Well, and Bran later says, like, where's Drogon now? And they say, well, he was last seen headed at west or wherever.
East. He was somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, all right, well, let me go find him, and then you guys carry on. But let's just pick back up where we were in the episode. So it fades to black, and then we find out we're several weeks later. The council, if you were, all the heads of the 5 families, forget about, the 6
and Davos.
Yeah. The what we think at that time the 7 kingdoms are they're all back in King's Landing at the place where they were at to sort of convince Cersei. What is that, like the Dragon Theater, the Dragon Pit?
Yeah, something like that. And we get to see Robin again from the Vale. That was looking not 12 anymore. Right.
And Sansa's uncle, I forget his name. Oh, what's his name?
Edwin, is that what it is?
Yeah. All right, let's move on from it. But it's Sansa's uncle he's a Tully. I can't remember his name. Yeah. Anyway, so we find out that Jon is a prisoner at this particular moment. And Grey Worm brings out Tyrion, and Grey Worm says, this is our city now. We control it. He's our prisoner. So Jon is our prisoner and Tyrion is our prisoner. And they sort of ask what to do, and for some reason, randomly, they ask Tyrion what we should do, and he's like, well, we need to pick a new king or queen at this particular moment. And we get a few things, and Samwell, of all people, offers up democracy. Right?
Yeah, shoot that fucking down. Get that fuck out of here.
They pulled a Trump real quick, and sorry. Never mind.
Can we not? Anyway.
Yeah, let's not do that. So we get to the point here where this guy, Mr. Sunday Night, I'm going to do the Rob Van Dam thing.
There you go.
Mr. Sunday Night called it. And they named Bran the Broken, the first of his name, King of the Andals and King of the 6 Kingdoms, because Sansa says the North is going to go back to being an independent kingdom. And he gets unanimous vote to be. Bran says, I'm going to be, Tyrion, or somebody says to him, are you ready for this?
Tyrion says that.
Tyrion, you're ready for this. And Bran's like, well, the whole reason I came this way.
What a pimp, right? Why do you think I came all this way? I like this moment just because you have basically the heads of Westeros, or at least the most powerful families or whomever at the time are all right there. And Tyrion
heads of the 6 families.
Yeah, didn't get to speak until they were just kind of like clueless, because I think this was a pretty strong moment here. Silly as it was. It's still a very strong moment because you look around in that area and in who the candidates would be, and I mean, you as a viewer know exactly what they're thinking because you're thinking, these characters, every single one of them, and
very well at this point.
Yeah, and there's only I would have to agree, only one person who really seems fitting, and that would just be Bran, right? I mean, Sansa wants it. We all
Mm-hmm.
that was her thing, and then she takes it anyway. And she's like, well, no, let me just get the home type of thing. But she would not have the backing for it, and it just wouldn't work. She wouldn't have the respect that everyone else was either given to each other. And that's why Tully made quite an embarrassing sight of himself, because he thought, oh well, I can, and everyone's like, no, you're definitely not.
Sit
buddy.
down,
you can go ahead.
Sit down.
Yeah, so that was a good moment too, because that let Like, who the hell else would it be? It couldn't have been anyone there. They didn't have I don't know, they just didn't have it. And so for them to look at Tyrion, who and keep in mind is that Tyrion has had encounters with every single person at this uh, this council here, and they
Yes.
all, I think, all at one point have looked to him for some sort of counsel, or like he has affected their play. Probably not Robin
Mhm.
so much, but I think his uncle, right? Either way,
Yeah.
so they, one last time they can look to him for like, hey, well, you seem to be the most sensible person here. What would make a case?
And
And
yeah,
does the
and
good thing.
Bran at that moment names Tyrion Hand of the King, and he's like, "No, whoa! Like, I don't want this. Like, why are you doing this to me?" And he goes, "Well, I'm doing this to you as your punishment. You're good at this, but you don't want it. You kind of don't deserve it because you're half the world hates you, half the world loves you. That's kind of why you're perfect."
Yeah.
And we don't know at this particular moment, but we do find out later that they send Jon back to the only place that's perfect for him, back to the Wall.
Back to the north.
Yeah, back to the, and he goes north. I just have a quick question. Now, you know what? I'll save that for later here. So we get to the next point where Brienne is now Kingsguard, commander of the Kingsguard, right?
Yeah.
And finishes Jaime's story. Because Jaime's story at that particular moment was written essentially in what would have been pencil at that time, killed. The Mad King is forever known as Kingslayer, became Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, and that's it. Nothing else is said about him. And Brienne fills several pages with the rest of his story. It's like the most true love thing anybody could have done. My sister literally said out loud, like, "Oh my God, I don't think I've ever loved somebody that much." And she truly loves Jaime.
Yeah. That was a very touching and fitting moment right there.
Mhm.
I that was just good. It was a good,
Very
yeah.
well.
That was probably the one ending that everyone liked the most, actually.
Yeah. From what we've been getting on social media, this episode has basically been the culmination of everybody hating this whole season so far,
Yeah.
and then everybody loves this episode. Like, this is the best and most fitting ending. But let's continue for a moment. So we get to sort of the end, where Bran's king. Bronn is master of coin because he gets Highgarden.
Sure.
I have a really quick question. We see Samwell as the maester, the Grand Maester of King's Landing.
Yep.
Why?
Let's
He's
just assume.
the only one. I mean, sure, is he most fitting to be the Grand Maester of Grand Maester Samwell of King's Landing? Sure, I get that. I mean, that's the goal that he's had since the beginning of the series. But like, he's the only one left of the Tarly household. I mean, he has a son that's not really his son, and we all know it, but nobody else does. And Gilly's pregnant. But
Yeah.
like,
Also, he took the black too. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's nobody's has more titles that's left than Samwell. He is Lord of the Riverlands because the Tullys, what's his name? The Tullys were sworn to, or excuse me, the Tarwells were sworn to House Tully. What's his name? Of the guy that I can't remember, Edward. I think it's Edward.
yeah, that sounds sure.
We see that he's there, but like, he's kind of a weak leader. You'd think that they wouldn't go backwards to that. So he should have been Lord of. I mean, obviously he's Lord of his own house.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
I think Sam is just showing that people are just like, oh, well, he's harmless enough. Who fucking cares? Like, that's
Right.
He's a secondary character through and through, and he's just kind of there to reveal certain things. I mean, it's more at this point though, during that council, that everyone's just like, it's kind of a fucking free for all right now, right? Like, whatever you guys, we're all in dismay. Like, just figure something out here too. That's why I think Davos was hilarious when he was just like, well, I don't think I get a vote, but I.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was good too because he stays pretty true to his character in that part. I enjoyed it. I mean, at least for that. But Samuel, I don't know. I never saw the entire series of Samuel. I'd never really liked or warmed up to him at all. He always seemed to be very much like a Deus Ex Machina character. Like they needed somebody in this story, in the plot, who could just throw answers out or just make it happen. And I feel that Samuel, has done that time and time again throughout this, and it just seems undeserving. I guess while everyone else is doing this and that, he just kind of is just this scarce dude. That maybe that's just me, but I feel like his character should not have. There should have been a lot more that it happened, or nothing at all, because he's again such a secondary character.
At that particular moment, when we're going backwards to the council here, he does that thing with his thumbs where he's like, I definitely, I know what I want to do, but I can't do it because I'm nervous. Like
Yeah.
He's a beta, and that's the most beta thing you can do, is like just sort of sit back and cower and just like twiddle your thumbs. He plays that part so well. John Bradley West is like probably the best actor of them all, because like the subtle things that he does, where like what I was saying, where he sort of cowers is like the guy, like he's like excuse me, okay, I'm just gonna sit back here and like twiddle my thumb.
Yeah, he's I guess everyone was obviously plays their characters like very well, and it's just a damn shame that you can't get I don't know, some more highlight to their story sometimes, or just some, dare I say, better writing sometimes. So I don't know. Could you see, because originally HBO threw 14 episodes, right?
Yes.
They're just like,
Yes.
we could do 14 episodes, and then D&D were just like, nah, we don't need that.
Which, I mean, I kind of would have liked that. I mean, the ending of this series was fantastic. I mean, if you remember some of the great series of all time, let's just go back to HBO. Sopranos, Black. All right, so it took us 10 years to realize that, okay, so Tony Soprano's dead. Let's just cope with it. Another great series, Mad Men. Fucking Don Draper becomes a hippie. That's dumb. Alf. The FBI comes and just takes Alf because he's an alien. Dinosaurs. The Ice Age comes.
That's right.
Breaking Bad. He dies, and then the fans were so pissed off that they were like, well, okay, all right, we'll make a movie. And then they're like, well, maybe we'll make a movie. So some of the greatest series of all time have ended in like a really terrible way.
Dexter's another one that comes to mind too.
Right. Yeah, Dexter. I mean, he just goes off into a hurricane on his fucking boat.
Yeah, and then he becomes a lumberjack.
Yeah, and then he's because he had joked several seasons previous, maybe I'll just go be a lumberjack and not kill people anymore.
Well,
yeah, I mean, so every great series up until Game of Thrones, the ending has been like just blah. So let's talk about the. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, to say, I mean, like, which because you have so many different stories to wrap up here, and so they just kind of did this chain effect thing where it's like, okay, well, Unsullied are going to Noth, right? The where Melisandre's from, or
Yep.
Which is weird because I'm pretty sure Noth is known for having like the poisonous flowers or butterflies around there. So I would assume that when all the Unsullied go there, that they're just gonna die. We'll see. Well, we'll see. But okay, but that's again, maybe there's something else there. Either way.
Yeah. So we see that the Unsullied and Grey Worm, they go to North because of Melisandre. Arya becomes a pirate. She asks what's west of Westeros, and everybody's like, oh, I have no idea. And she's like, well, I'm going to go find out. So she becomes a pirate. Sansa becomes Queen of the North. Jon Snow, we're sort of led to believe maybe becomes the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. But then we get to the point to where 2 episodes before, Tormund was like, "Well, you should come north with us. You have north in your blood. Like, you'd be perfect." And he's like, "No, I got shit I gotta go do." And then he does.
Yeah.
He goes and becomes a free folk. He's a wildling now.
Yeah. He came to a point where obviously he just leaves and he's just like, well, who the fuck's gonna stop me? I'm sure.
Right.
You know. And nobody keeping tabs. You know. Nobody. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he makes a joke, or somebody makes a joke that why do we need a wall now? There's no reason to have a wall.
He's right.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't remember who did that, but somebody made that joke. Anyway, so that's the episode. That's the episode in its entirety. We talked about that. I want to spend a few minutes, Eric, if you don't mind. I want to talk about this whole series.
Okay.
Okay. I wasn't there for the first season.
Okay.
I didn't watch it live. I never read the books. A friend of mine, who's no longer a friend, introduced me to it almost 10 years ago, and I was. It was like halfway through the second season when I finally got introduced to it. So I watched it, and I got to binge the whole first season in a couple of days, and it's just one of those series to me that you can't stop watching.
Yeah.
You put it on a binge, and you could literally spend the entire day and not realize that you've done it.
Yeah, there's a few shows can do that, and I would agree. Yeah, I got to binge watch the first season, but I had to do second season as so I caught on pretty early. This
series, well, it's going to be a franchise now, but let's just talk about this series. This series, to me, in my personal opinion, I loved Mad Men. I loved Sopranos. Friends of mine loved Deadwood. Friends of mine loved Oz. To me, this is not only the most water cooler series of all time, especially the last 3 seasons. This is probably the greatest series in the history of television.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make that statement. I mean, you watch Hard Knocks on HBO and you see guys talking about Game of Thrones. I have several people that I work with. All we do is talk. We can talk every Monday after an episode. We talk for an hour about the episode. I've never experienced that with people. I mean, I loved Mad Men. I have one friend of mine that I talked about Mad Men with when it was on. The Walking Dead, which has been dead for 2 years, they should have ended it 2 seasons ago, is the only thing left that has anywhere to go. Sopranos. I mean, I would stay up. I thought when Sopranos ended, I thought that my TV had fucked up.
Yeah.
And I stayed up a couple of hours because at that time there wasn't streaming. You had to have an HBO subscription to watch it. And I made my dad get me an HBO subscription because I was still in college.
Damn.
From beginning to end, the last season I loved. A lot of people hated this last season, but to me, it was they just took George R.R. Martin's story and they had George R.R. Martin plants a seed, lets it grow, and then just sort of goes where it goes. He just starts to type and it goes where it goes. They had to trim those weeds, and a lot of people got mad about that. This is, and I'd like your opinion. This is the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest series in the history of television.
Obviously that's subjective, but
sure, yeah.
This has had a huge influence on culture, like globally. So I would have to agree with you just because, like, I was going to use a Seinfeld reference. I remembered when the last episode of Seinfeld happened.
That was another one, yeah.
And there was such a build up towards that, but even then, like, that wasn't really on a global scale, And that had a lot of seasons with it too, but this only had 8. Like, production was way more. I mean, there was a lot more in this just because it was so much more compelling rather than a show about nothing. So you had a lot.
Not everybody went to jail in the end.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it. That there were more characters, and so yeah, I guess I would have to agree with you because I can't really find a hard argument. But yeah, everyone seems to know about it. Like even the people who have not seen the series or watched any of the show at all, they know the character. It's kind of like a Star Wars thing. That you
Mhm.
know the characters, even without ever seeing. You know probably the story just because you'll hear it through chatter, through online, through whatever. And yeah, that's got to be said about something, right? I mean, when you have everyone talking about what's happening and just there's a movement there,
Yes.
and obviously if it's powerful enough, it's going to spawn three spin-offs, possibly more. So we'll see. I think the best opening that we have right now is that Ario is sailing west across the like Shimmering Sea or one of those, something like that, where the
I
map
don't.
stops,
Yeah.
and that would be fun to watch. Shit, you could have your own series about that. Apparently, in the books, there have been like a few people who have sailed west, and obviously they've not returned. So
Yeah, I mean, there. Westeros is known, obviously, in the books. Essos is kind of known. There's a little continent south of Essos that they only barely mention. And yes, several people have tried to get west of Westeros, but nobody knows how things have gone. So there's so much to do. This is such a broad world. It's almost Star Wars esque, in my opinion, of expanded universe types of things that you could get comics and books and things that and TV shows and movies that are in the world of Game of Thrones that have nothing to do with the main story, but you can there's just so much to do, and it's had this is yeah. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it one more time. Had Star Wars been made in the last 10 years originally, it would have been done like this, and it has to. And I'm excited that D&D are doing the next trilogy that they've taken away from Ryan Johnson because Ryan Johnson's terrible, but and they gave it to D&D.
I won't
So
say anything until I see it. So that's excuse me. That's always been my motto. It's like I'll now that this episode has come out, the final Game of Thrones. Now I can look back at everything and be like, you know what? I guess it really wasn't that bad. It was hurried. It was rushed a bit, but at the same part, like I guess a lot of those arcs were closed that I wanted to close. Like I mean, I can't really. I might need a little bit more to think about it to see like how could this have gone differently, but I don't know. It just seemed like it worked. You know, like is that the best way to put it? Is that like this ending just worked? It may not have been like they were describing it as bittersweet, and yeah, I guess I could say that just because there's that moment, perfectly so. There's that moment in when the the chair when Hand of the King Tyrion is talking with his new council, new formed council, that people were just like, okay, so we're just going back to normal now, type of thing, and like they're trying to play normal again too,
mhm.
and that's kind of like that bittersweet moment. I think what he's talking about. People were just like, we're cool, right? Even though Bron's still a dick, but
Well, I mean, everybody's who they were. There's
yeah,
it was said earlier in the series. I don't remember which episode. And I don't remember who said it, but it's like it doesn't matter who sits on the Iron Throne. The world's always going to be the same. There's no reason to play this game.
yeah. We got Sir Podrick, by the way, too. Like that was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good
He's a knight now.
and rightfully so, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. Again, everyone's story. I think it's great that Brienne and Davos are gonna hang out in King's Landing. They obviously have big roles there. I mean, it's not necessarily wrapped up into a nice, pretty bow, but it definitely did close. So yeah,
All
I,
right. So
I,
let
I enjoyed it. Like it's, I guess I want to read because this is gonna spawn so many different like fan fictions and theories,
sure.
and that's gonna be the big part about it too. Aside from, of course, the meme game, which has been just top notch this season. Thank you everybody
Absolutely. Yeah.
for creating those memes. They have been just amazing. But yeah,
So I want to wrap up this episode by thanking all the fans who have made this possible. This is Movie Guys Podcast's biggest show, and we're so excited that you guys are like it. Um, I, I'm satisfied, man. I'm just satisfied.
I
Um,
am because you have the opening for so much more.
yeah.
yeah, I'm satisfied. I mean, it seems like justice was served for most. Maybe not
Mhm.
for Grey Worm, but
It, but in the end, does Grey Worm really matter?
no, obviously not. No,
Yeah.
I don't think so at all.
All right. All right. So thank you everybody for watching this special episode live here on YouTube. Don't forget, most Wednesdays we're going to be live this upcoming week. We are going. Movie Guys Podcast is going to be live on YouTube with John Wick 3. So excited because if anybody killed my dog, I would absolutely take 3 movies to murder everything about all of them. We're going to have a special guest for that episode as well. Eric, thank you so much for spending the last 2 years with me talking about Game of Thrones. And everybody out there, thank you so much for spending the last 8 seasons. To the cast and crew, kudos.
Oh yes,
You've done something fantastic. I hope that I hope that you guys have long careers here on out. Eric, I think the only thing I can say now our watch has ended.
yeah. Oh, perfect.